Good evening and welcome to Sunset News this Monday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Diana Master. In the news tonight, Cabinet has approved the establishment of a new Green Industries Council, replacing the former Green Hydrogen Council. The announcement was made by Information Minister Emma Theophilus, who communicated resolutions taken during the 12th and 13th Cabinet meetings held on the 28th of April and the 6th of May 2026. According to Jonah Musheko, spokesperson for the Namibia Green Hydrogen Program, Cabinet intends for the Green Industries Council to oversee and guide Namibia's broader green industrialization agenda. He said the council will focus on policy coordination, institutional alignment, and investment priorities aimed at accelerating industrialization, economic diversification, and job creation. Cabinet indicated that the new council will be chaired by the Director General of the National Planning Commission and will include representatives from key government institutions. These include the Ministries of Finance, Industries, Mines and Energy, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Land Reform, Environment, Forestry and Tourism, International Relations and Trade, and Urban and Rural Development, as well as the Office of the Attorney General and the Bank of Namibia. The development comes as Namibia prepares to host the African Green Industries Summit 2026 in Swakopmund from the 9th to the 10th of September. Earlier this month, NEA Consulting announced the launch of the summit, which succeeds last year's Global African Hydrogen Summit. The 2025 event attracted more than 1,500 delegates from 75 countries to Namibia to discuss ways to fuel Africa's green industrial revolution. The theme for this year's summit is Powering African Industries for Sustainable Development. Speaking at the launch, Deputy Minister of Mines and Energy Gaudentia Kruna said the summit would play an important role in advancing Namibia's industrialization agenda and supporting Africa's transition towards a sustainable green economy. The 2026 summit will broaden its focus beyond hydrogen to include renewable energy, infrastructure, and sustainable manufacturing. Acting Chief Executive of the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board, Jessica Hawanga, reaffirmed Namibia's ambition to position itself as a leading green industrial hub on the African continent. In our next story, congestion linked to recent ASYCUDA world system disruptions has been cleared, NAMRA says, with no further delays reported at border posts since Sunday. Speaking during a media briefing in Windhoek today, Commissioner Sam Shivute said staff worked non-stop, including officials called in from home to resolve backlogs. He also confirmed receiving a petition from clearing agents in Swakopmund calling for a return to manual processing and raising concerns over supply chain disruptions. Shivute said reported technical issues would be investigated and addressed where evidence is provided.
I'm very happy to report that this morning when we have our debrief at 9 o'clock, all the identified issues by then were cleared. But I'm also here to confirm to the Namibian people that since that congestion that was experienced on Sunday, and the colleague worked non-stop. And we're talking about non-stop, and even the colleagues who were at home, they have to come and give hand and make sure that all the tracks are cleared and so on. I'm very happy to report to the Namibian public that no any other congestion was experienced since that Sunday. Now, what we have then noted, we are very much aware that of course there were some people online, on social media and so on, advocating of having a nationwide protest at NAMRA offices and dressing in blacks and so on. Very happy that it did not happen at all the other borders, including the two borders where you have bigger congestion. But what happened is that we have observed some of the clearing agents who had a gathering in front of our office in Swakopmund on Friday, and they have also submitted a petition, which petition I have received. The petition that talks about, yes, this system, we must revert back to manual processing, and also that the commissioner must fix the system, and that the supply chain nationwide has been disrupted and containers are stuck in the port of Walvis. But those are some of the issues. But I'm very happy to report here that as I'm talking to the public now, we do not have a congestion at any of our border posts. But again, if there are some few technical issues experienced by those who protested and gathered, the good thing is that I just spoke with my team at Walvis Bay, and one of our experts have also indicated that they have sent some of the NAMRA stars to engage the colleague and determine what are the specific issues, and if those issues are real and evidence is provided, then they will be addressed. But truth be told,
the founder of IUM, Professor David Namwandi, disclosed during the ongoing graduation ceremony that is taking place in Nongwediva that the institution is in the process of constructing a private hospital near Undangwa in the Oshana region. He stated that the hospital will be of a high standard and is expected to commence operations by mid-2027. This development is advantageous for the specialists we have been training as well as for nurses from other universities, he remarked. He announced this during the institution's graduation ceremony at the Nongwediva Trade Fair Hall, Oshana region on Friday.
10 kilometers from here, on your way to Undangwa, IUM is busy constructing. What are we busy constructing? We are busy constructing the high-tech private hospital. And this private hospital will have 120 beds. And the standards will definitely be that, like that one of Lady Kohamba. Later, this is going to come to pass. So the doors of this hospital will be open mid-2027. I think it's good news to the nurses that we are training. Good news to the nurses that are being trained by our university, UNAM. Good news.
The UN Global Road Safety Week concluded on the 16th of May 2026. During the launch, where the road safety community commits to make walking and cycling along Namibian roads safe, Dr. Richard Banda, World Health Organization country representative to Namibia, made the following remarks at the event, which took place at the Dr. Agostinho Neto Square in Windhoek.
To be here today on the launch of the 9th United Nations Global Road Safety Week, a global campaign that reminds us of our shared responsibility to protect lives on our roads. This year's theme, Make Walking and Cycling Safe, is both timely and urgent. It sends a clear message. Roads are not only for vehicles. Roads are for people. They are for children walking to school, workers commuting, families crossing streets, cyclists traveling to work, and communities moving through their daily lives. Road safety is a public health issue, a development issue, a climate issue, as well as an equity issue. Globally, road traffic crashes claim close to 1.2 million people every year, while an additional 20 to 50 million people suffer non-fatal injuries resulting in long-term disability. Road traffic injuries remain the leading cause of death among children and young people aged between 5 to 29.
Stay with us. After the break, we bring you our Community Talk segment.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative Sport Tourism.
Tonight in our Community Talk segment, residents of Okahanja Informal Settlement, Griffin Khwahub and Aldehyde Johannes have raised concerns over the only non-functional floodlight that gives light to Oshetu 1, Federation Homes, Promised Land, the graveyard in the location, and the community tap at the Wakaduka Sports. Speaking to Network Media Hub, the residents said the floodlights have not been working since last year, turning the area into a hotspot for crime. Khwahub stated that the matter was reported to Sino Red, but residents were allegedly informed that the required bulb had to be ordered, with no further feedback provided since then.
My name is Griffin Khwahub, and I'm here based on the pole that is in our location, which is not have been working for the last 16 months, and we are here. We wish that we can be helped with the pole, and there are many things that are happening in the darkness, like rape cases and like unrunning and hood, and so we just want to stop the violence and asking for help so that they can fix the pole for us, so that we can be in the light, because many activities are happening in the darkness.
Is this the only light pole that gives the informal settlement light in this location?
Yes, it's the only light pole that they use for light, so it has been out with function opportunities, so we are just seeking for help.
Naranjonga Adelaide Hanesa ondiri mu lukanda lwa Promised Land mukanja oshinasha neramba yetu ndika lyaninga emwedhi halitema kuza mumwedhi omutilongo nagumwe nasigo omwedhi nguka tuli Mei ihalitema, so tuliko lukanda lwena lusheno, so tuna umbanda okwenda hatuzimbuka usiku lweramba yetu halitugamene kuyelele. Embudha tadhi tuponokele tadhi tiyuga inima yetu, ashiko twala akuluntu yetu mutuningile uuwanawa olamba yetu iteme.
Heading straight into our economic news, the Okahandja municipality has tabled a budget of $278.1 million Namibian dollars for the 2026-2027 financial year, representing a $41.3 million increase from the previous budget of $236.8 million. During a community budget presentation on Saturday, the council said operating revenue for 2026-2027 is projected at $224.4 million, while government subsidies and grants are expected to contribute a further $53.7 million. Tariffs for the financial year are recommended to increase by 5% across various consumer categories, including refuse collection, sewerage, water charges, basic charges, new connections, meter changes, prepaid water, and emergency service fees. Financial performance figures show the municipality recorded a deficit of $62.4 million in financial year 2025, compared with deficits of $37.4 million in financial year 2024 and $44.1 million in financial year 2023. The municipality has allocated $180.9 million toward operational costs. This includes $74.8 million for salaries and allowances, $93 million for general expenses, $11.5 million for repairs and maintenance, and $1.6 million for redemption and interest. Capital projects account for a significant portion of the budget, with $97.2 million earmarked for infrastructure development and service delivery improvements across the town. Major capital projects include $36 million for the construction of services in Extension 10 and Ekunde 4 and 5, $10 million for sewer network repairs and upgrades, and $6 million for road upgrading, including gravel and bitumen roads. $5.4 million has been allocated for equipment procurement, including a grader and tipper truck, while $3.7 million is set aside for consulting services related to the sewer treatment plant. Several smaller development initiatives are also included in the budget. Getting into our next story. During the Farmers Information Day focused on rice production in Onimwe Village, Oshikoto Region, the Governor of Oshikoto Region, Saki Kathindi, emphasized that agriculture extends beyond mere farming. It is a vital component that sustains nations, fosters economic growth, and restores dignity within communities. A nation that cannot feed itself can never truly claim economic independence, he was quoted as saying. He further remarked that for too long, reliance on important food has persisted despite the presence of fertile land, capable labor, and determined heart elements that he asserts must be leveraged to bring about necessary change.
It's not only possible in our communities, but that it can become a powerful engine for development. Also for employment creation, poverty reduction, and self-reliance. Anafarama Holike, agriculture is not just about farming. Agriculture, it's life. It feeds nations. It builds economies and restores dignity to communities. A nation that cannot feed itself can never truly claim economic independence. For too long, our people have depended heavily on we import more food, despite having the fertile land as we are witnessing today here. We have capable hands and determined hearts. So this notion must change. The times have come for our people, especially the youth, to see agriculture not as a last resort, but as a business opportunity and a pathway to prosperity. It's our harvest. hard work pays. That's why I'm appealing to the youth of Oshikoto to emulate the example of the farmers here. What you see here, it was not a one-day initiative. The first thing that we must understand, you must love what you are doing. Ohore ya shitoninge fimasha simani. Karatani ndire aholika tukeni kutiko chihorerwa keke shimo tashi buruku mena kevi. Jambashi getu iturimo ondisho tunenye mashongo genji, but in unity we will achieve a lot. So this is a good example, and I am asking all farmers to emulate this example. We must fight hunger and poverty. So the government is ready to assist. The office of the governor, the door is open. We are here to support. Let's engage. Okay. Okay. Oh, yes. All right.
And now let's take a look at the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 22.23 against the British pound, 19.41 against the euro, 16.69 to the US dollar, and 2 Namibian dollars and 45 cents buys you 1 Chinese yuan. Looking at commodities, gold and copper on an upturn of 0.09 and 0.31% respectively, while platinum and Brent crude oil took dips of 0.55 and 0.49% respectively. Headlining our international news segment, Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni has signed into law forbidding foreign interference in the country despite warnings from different concerned parties. Museveni, 81, has always accused the opposition and other NGOs of receiving funding from abroad with the intent to destabilize the East African nation. The Protection of Sovereignty Bill, passed by Parliament earlier this month, intends to criminalize the promotion of foreign interests at the expense of Uganda's interests. The law, which carries a maximum imprisonment of 10 years, also bans anyone from implementing or developing policies without government approval. The bill has sparked widespread concern among rights groups, journalists, and sections of the private sector who say it could undermine freedoms and deter investment in the East African nation. And now, let's quickly take a look at the weather predictions before we get into our sports news with Ari Hogad. Windhoek can expect sunny conditions. Maximum temperatures will be at 23 degrees Celsius. Minimum temperatures will be at 10 degrees Celsius. In Gobabis, some showers are expected. Minimum temperatures will be at 11 degrees Celsius and maximum temperatures will be at 25 degrees Celsius. Looking over at the coast in Swakopmund, partly cloudy conditions and maximum temperatures of 17 degrees Celsius. At Ampsvlei, some showers are to be expected. Maximum temperatures will be at 27 degrees Celsius and minimum temperatures are expected to be at 16 degrees Celsius.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news and starting off with rugby news first. United Rugby Championship and the quarterfinals have been confirmed and it is 3 South African teams that will be in the quarterfinals. And what happened over the weekend was that the Stormers from Cape Town lost by 22 points to 16 against Cardiff. That dropped them down to number 3 on the list, and then it was also the Lions that lost to 24-17 to Munster, and that put them down in 8th position on the log, but both teams still qualified for the quarterfinals. And the Bulls, they beat Benetton by 45 points to 19 in Pretoria, and they confirmed a 4th position. The Sharks are playing at home against Zebra, won 54-19, but they finished 10th on the United Rugby Championship. So the quarterfinals confirmed for the weekend of 29 and 30 May. It will be Glasgow Warriors that will host Connacht on the Friday, and then on the Saturday the Bulls play against the team of Munster. That is a home game for the Bulls, and then the Stormers a home game against Cardiff in Cape Town, and Leinster will host the Lions. That game will be played at Leinster. Moving on to soccer news, it was the FA Cup final that was played over the weekend. That was Manchester City beating Chelsea to win the title. It is the 20th title that the coach Pep Guardiola won, major title that he won for Manchester City, and it's the 8th FA Cup that Manchester City won in their history. On to golf news as well. It was the PGA men's tournament that was played in America, and it was the second major of the year. It was Aaron Rai of England that's the winner. He came in with the last round of minus 565. That was for a total of minus 9 for his 4 rounds, and he was 3 shots ahead of John Rahm and Alex Smalley. They were on 6 under par. Good performance by South African Ulrich Potgieter. He finished tied for 35th with a combined score of the 4 rounds of 1 over par. To conclude today's international sports news, it is tennis news. It is Italian Open. In the men's side of the draw, it was Jannik Sinner. He's a hometown favorite, and he beat Casper Ruud in the final 6-4 and 6-4, the score there. And then in the women's side of the draw, the final, it was Elina Svitolina, and she beat Coco Gauff in the final. And the winning score for Svitolina was 6-4, 6-7, and 6-2 in the Italian Open. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day. We'll talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. I am Diana Master, and this has been Sunset News.